Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of We Think It's Funny. I'm Daniel LaBelle, and I'm joined by one of Mark's great long-term friends who he talks about all the time on this show.
Yes, Jimmy Brogan.
Yes, Mark. And you know what this is? This week is my 50th anniversary of doing stand-up.
Wow.
Did
Yeah.
you get him anything? Some
Well,
friend.
let's get him an audience that'll eventually laugh at some of these jokes that he hasn't perfected yet in 50 years.
That's right.
Let's find one audience that...
He's obviously a big star. He's the first guy to wear sunglasses in the bus.
Oh, I should take them off. I
you didn't
forgot
have to,
about
huh?
them. No,
I
So,
thought-
first of all,
speakers out there.
Mazel Tov, as the Jewish people say.
Thank you.
And
It's nice to be here, Mark.
Yeah.
After a year of you inviting me on the show, and I turned it down a year
Yeah.
ago,
he
Yeah.
did.
and because you told me it was all about commenting on topical things, headlines
say
and
that.
stuff.
Yeah.
Initially, that was the plan, I think, for the podcast. So I said, no, I'm not good at that. I'm turning that down. And the reason I know I'm not good at that is I had an audition years ago with Dick Ebersol.
I remember Dick.
He was the vice president of NBC and ran Saturday Night Live from those
He had a
5
wife
years.
episode too, right?
I'm sorry.
Didn't his wife work with Woody or something?
Gene Dominion.
He replaced Jean Dominion. She was the first producer
Right, okay.
when Lauren Michaels left Saturday Night Live, and then she was let go. But he produced the show for 5 years with Joe Piscopo and Gilbert Gottfried and friends of ours.
Yeah.
So I have a meeting with him. He's the producer also of what was it, Midnight Special,
Sure.
which was a musical
Great rock show.
and had a few comedians on. But he was thinking of having comedians sit around a table and comment on the news. Was his plan? This was before Bill Maher started doing it on Politically Incorrect. And so I go into his office to meet him, and because he produces this Midnight Special show, there's comedy albums all stacked up there and stuff. And I walk in and he says, as you're going out, help yourself to, the albums, help yourself. I said, oh, great. So we start the meeting, it's going fine. And then he starts just yelling topics at me.
Wow.
And he just yells, Kennedy's. And I go, oh, I've got nothing about the
Yeah.
Kennedys. And Libya. I don't have any jokes about Libya. I don't have anything on
Yeah.
Libya, So, it just goes terrible. I have nothing to say about anything that he had. So I walk out and I go over to the albums that are all stacked up there. And he says, just take one.
Wow.
That's how bad the audition was. He went from help yourself to just take one.
Down to one album.
So that's how I
Yeah.
know that I'm not.
Well, I'm glad
topical
you're here, and
comedian,
we
so
we
thank
don't
you.
do that. We think we did it more in the beginning.
Our first topic is Kennedy's.
Yeah. And then Libya.
Libya.
Kennedy's is still in the news.
So I had a story that was even worse than that.
Oh.
I did I got hired to do a pilot with Mark Weiner,
Oh yeah.
and
Mark
it was
Weiner.
kind of a Saturday Night Live type of thing, and there was a lot of people on it, and I had a couple of sketches, and the producer comes over to me and he says, at the end of the show, you know how we're going to get together and take a bow like on Saturday Night Live? They're
Yeah.
all-
Yeah.
He goes, I don't want you in that group. I said, really? He goes, yeah, it's just best if you're not in that group. And so I said to him, are you firing me? And he goes, well, we'll talk about that later. And yeah, I was fired at the thing there, and they cut me out of all the sketches. And
Oh, my gosh.
it was a horrible, horrible moment.
I'm sorry. We could laugh about it now. But
Oh, laugh at my misery. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, those are so painful, Mark.
Yeah,
Those are
that's
just-
terrible. I'm
And Mark,
sorry.
have you ever told the story? You told this to Jerry Seinfeld and me one time. The auditioning for Saturday Night Live story. Have you ever told that on the? Has he
With
ever
the-
told
He
that
has,
on the
but
podcast?
it's
With the,
such a good story. I mean, I can't get enough of that one with the big heads.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you have told it. Okay.
Yeah. So essentially what it was a big audition for Lauren Michaels and all these people for Saturday Night Live.
Uh huh.
And I'm working with Tom Stern as my manager at the time.
Right. Who was a stand-up, or had been a stand-up?
I'd been
at
a
one point,
stand-up, had one good show, and the next show was bad, and he couldn't take it. He couldn't take the rejection of Tom came from a lot of money, a serious money, and he couldn't take people. He thought of this is my opinion. He thought of the audience as less than him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And you can't do that as a stand-up.
Ooh.
You're on an equal footing here.
Sure.
You know, you can't come out. You know, that's one of the things Jerry talks about is, you know, he's done well. He's had the big show. He's got a lot of money,
Yeah.
but he has to stay real.
Of course. Yep.
You know,
Yep. Yeah.
one guy that tried to do it was it Rich Boy, Pinky Lee, was it?
No, Pinky Lee was a child host from vaudeville in the 50s.
Right, but there was a comedian.
London
Lee, poor
London
little
Lee.
rich kid. And he
Yeah.
tried to do all these rich people jokes.
That's right.
But it's, you know, it doesn't really work, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Tom was my manager. We wanted to do something different. So we came up with this idea. You know, have 3-card Monte on the street where the guys are, you know,
Yeah.
pick the word and you win $20.
Yeah.
So we went down to the Mexican part of town and we bought 3 giant pigs' heads.
Yeah.
And what happened was I worked with them, and then I had a scene where I popped the eye out, and it goes, my person is Sammy Davis Jr. And I popped the eye out of the pig's head. And so because the audition was Monday and this was Friday, we got the heads. We had to freeze the heads because they were just getting very droopy and
Of course,
rotting away.
as they do.
So we get the heads out and on Monday morning and put them in the trash bag. Like it looks like a body, you know, that you've killed somebody and you're carrying these heads out in the bag. And we get there and the heads now are melted and the tongues are hanging out because
Every time I hear it,
yeah,
it's
you can't
worse
keep
and
the
worse.
tongue in.
Yeah.
And there's not much more to the story except there was a little crowd of about 8 people in there and Lorne Michaels. And they go ahead. And I reach into the bag and I put these heads. And I see they're
on a table. You put them on a table. Like
yeah, on a little table. I
3-card
asked for a
Monte. Okay.
table.
Probably smelled bad too.
Everything was wrong about
Oh
them.
my
The eyes, and when I popped the eye out, they had enough. The crowd. They said that's really it. And I think it was Michaels or someone said just clean up. So and the last thing was I had a garbage can, and the big ending was throwing the heads off the table and each head weighed about 20 pounds because these were giant. They weren't little pigs. They were, and each one, boom, boom, boom.
This is great.
And I'm still waiting for the call.
So you know
to see if I get the
something?
show.
I blame Brogan for this whole story because weren't you his friend at the time?
But I think I lived in California at that point, and you were still in New York.
Well, you let him take advice from a guy who did one good show.
Now, not only did I ruin my career there,
I'm auditioning for the biggest show in television. Maybe I should refer to the guy who only had one good show ever for advice.
after 50 years. I want to get back to the 50 years thing, but before that.
Okay, but I want to tell you an audition
Yeah.
story, Mark, a bad audition story. That
Okay.
I had. In the mid-'80s, Gina Davis had a sitcom that they were casting, and they needed someone to play the next-door neighbor who was just a friend and would, come in a bit. So I went up, met with the producers, and they actually liked me, and I had a decent reading. So they brought me up to the network to read, and so this was, big time.
Big deal.
Brandon Tartikoff was the head of NBC at that point, and NBC was just in the tank at that point. They had shows on like Super Train, which was
Sure.
Love Boat.
This is before Seinfeld.
Oh yes, yes. Seinfeld was '89. This was early '80s.
Right.
Yeah, and they had Super Train on, which was Love Boat on a train, which was just a terrible idea. And Manimal, half man, half animal. Just terrible.
Grizzly Adams.
And they were. Was that NBC? Might have been. But but they were just tanking it, and it just doing terrible. But so I go in for this audition, and they tell me I'm going to meet with Brandon Tartikoff, and the producers will be there. So I'm thinking it'll be 4 people or something. So I walk into the room, and it's Brandon Tartikoff's office, and there's 40 people all standing there waiting for me to go on. And I'm nervous, and I'm trying to be funny, and I said, "Oh, this is more people than watch the network."
Right.
Oh.
Wow.
And not a single laugh, just people. Everyone turned and looked at Brandon Tartikoff to see if he would laugh, and he didn't laugh.
Oh.
And that was it. I was so done.
You were finished
at that point.
It's like stand up. If your first joke doesn't hit, it's not a good thing.
Did you have to audition for? Now you had a sitcom.
Yes.
So short lived.
Yep.
But Did you have to audition for that? It was called Out of the Blue
Out of the Blue,
on
yes.
ABC.
Yep.
Wasn't Robin Williams on it
He was on the first episode. He guested on the first episode.
as Mork?
As Mork, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
And they
was
shot it down
weird.
at Paramount.
At Paramount.
I remember because I went down to one or two of the tapings.
Visit me, yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, I did audition for it, and I auditioned for it with another comic from New York, Mark King, who
Sure.
was the
Part of the-
funniest guy in
Part of
New
the
York.
comedy clinic.
Yes. He was
Never
part
heard of him. Tell me about Mark King.
He was part of a trio,
Steve Schaefer,
yes, and Bruce Packman.
Bruce Packman,
the
and Mark
three of
King.
them, and they just exploded on the New York scene. And Mark was just unbelievable, as he would play a chipmunk and just do this little voice and do a chipmunk, and was people loved. They just So we flew out to California together to audition, and
Wow.
and he had been an acting major at Penn State. So I thought, well, I don't have it.
Not State Penn where you went.
That's right. That's right. So we both auditioned for it, and somehow I got it. I don't know why. I mean, Mark was eventually cast in something else
Wow.
because he was so
Is
talented.
he
that.
still with us, Mark King?
He is Mexico, right?
He moved to Mexico.
Became a Jehovah's Witness.
I don't know about that, but I know he moved to Mexico and worked in a school, I think. Yeah, and had a family.
I
And
thought he became very religious or something. I thought it was Jehovah, but maybe not. But anyway, he became very religious
okay,
and then moved down there and didn't want anything to do with show business.
dropped out of show business, and he made it on. We spoke about Saturday Night Live earlier.
Yeah.
That cast with Gene Domanion, he made it right before Dick Ebersol took over. I think he was cast on it and then let go.
Interesting.
I mean, but he would have been
Good looking
unbelievable
boy, good looking young guy.
and just really talented and really funny. And just, got fed up with show business and dropped out.
He had a
When
very early age.
comics talk about comedians who left comedy, it's very similar to when people talk about dead people.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh
yeah, well, he was great. He had a good run.
Yeah. He's gone now.
He's gone. He's no longer.
Yeah.
What happened to him? No, he doesn't do comedy anymore. Yeah.
Well,
But,
yeah,
yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
is the personality that you just couldn't take
Mm-hmm.
the ups and downs, I guess, of show business.
You think comedians should, if they're going to leave, most should sell their act? You think other comedians should buy their act?
Oh, I think that happened before. Didn't Dennis Miller sell his act when he dropped out?
Dennis, I don't know. I think
Definitely Dennis Miller.
Scheidner sold his act.
Scheidner sold his act, and did he regret it?
He was forced to write more.
Oh,
I'm
he
gonna
thought-
tell you
he thought
something.
he was going to do. I think he thought he was going to stop.
I'm gonna make an offer right now. I'm gonna give you $100
uh-huh.
while you're still around.
Yes.
In the event that when you're quite an old man, you pass away, I inherit all your jokes. But you
Oh.
can use the $100 now. It will be paid in installments.
I wonder if any of my jokes would work for you. I wonder if there's a single joke in my act that would make any sense in
The
your
deer, the deer joke would work.
Act. Oh,
That would work
okay.
for anyone.
Oh, yeah.
Can I tell
yeah.
people the joke? Or can I
Sure.
get you to tell people the joke? It's a great joke.
Yes, it's. I flew back to Cleveland recently on Spirit Airways. Yes, not a great airline. On the way there, we hit a deer.
Great.
That's a great joke.
Great joke.
I heard.
it may be the biggest laugh that I get.
It's
in
a
my
brilliant
act.
joke.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I worked with a guy the other day. Oh my God, why am I forgetting his name? He had a joke that I just have been laughing over. He's a ship comedian. He works on a lot of ships.
okay.
And he said, on the ship here, there's a lot of old people. And one of the excursions is burial at sea.
Oh.
What a great joke. He goes, Wednesday is free hip day. Great for the old people.
oh yeah, especially when he's working on ships. That's
yeah.
just.
A
How
killer
many
joke.
ships do you have to work on before you're known as a ship comedian?
Ooh.
I did them for a couple of years, and I was ready to. I was so done. These guys that go on for 30 years. I think John Wing just retired from the ships.
Yeah.
And God
yeah.
bless him. He entertained a lot of people, made a lot of people laugh. Very funny comedian. I
Yeah.
toured with him, but I couldn't go on for years. Like I felt it was a metaphor for just floating through life.
Oh, interesting. Mark.
There's no
Yeah.
internet when I
Yeah.
was there.
Me too.
No
yeah.
phone. Very difficult. You just cut off from the rest of the world.
Hmm.
I felt like I was in prison for her.
And if
The-
you have a
the week
bad
that I was
show,
on
you
it.
got to see those people for the next 3-4 days.
Yeah. It just. Yeah.
They stop you in the ship. I mean, you're turning a quarter and you bump into, you go, you're the comedian. Huh?"
So you said something about Mike King a minute ago.
Mark
King,
Mark King,
sorry.
yes, yeah.
About weathering the ups and downs of show business.
Oh, yeah.
You've always struck me as a very even keel guy. Is that a facade, or is there?
Totally a facade.
Yeah.
I am so angry.
The-
He bought Charles Manson's house. That's how much he loved.
Yeah.
Did he really?
Manson. No,
I called him Chuck.
he knew him that well.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be in show business. I think if you get, frustrated and angry, it just,
Mhm.
it's impossible.
What is your secret to it? Because I'm sure lots of people would find that helpful in their life, whether they're in show business or not.
Well, I think you learn after the beginning that you've got more shows.
Mhm.
That even if you have a bad show, you've got a chance of redeeming yourself on that next show.
You've had highs and lows. Obviously, you've had a sitcom. You lost a sitcom. Things
Yep,
like that.
yep,
How have
yep.
you managed those type of things?
I've lost many shows,
Mhm.
not just a sitcom.
Yeah.
I've been canceled by every network.
Oh yeah.
But, at one point, I was the host of Comic Strip Live, which was on Fox, and they went through 5 hosts.
Wayne Fetterman,
Wayne Cotter
Wayne
eventually
Cotter,
was the
Mhm.
5th host
Um,
eventually. But
Rosie O'Donnell do that one?
no, she did the one at the Ice House, whatever
Yeah, the
that
Ice
was
House,
called.
yeah.
A different one. But the same idea, just
Yeah.
stand up. So when I was let go from that, I thought maybe I should get out of show business. This was like 87 or so. And Leno said to me, what else would you do? And I
Yeah.
went, oh, that's right. I don't have any other skills.
Right.
So,
That's what keeps me in it.
So I was back. I was back doing it,
Yeah.
doing sets the next night. And
Being utterly useless at everything else is what it's what's kept me going.
great help in show business.
Yeah.
You had to have no other skill to fall back on.
Right.
Because parents always, Seinfeld and I used to talk about this, is parents always want you to have something to fall back on.
Right.
And Jerry would say, that's the worst thing you can have if you want to get into show business, because
Right.
you will fall back on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
there's
remember.
there's no B plan.
Yeah.
I remember
Sure.
my dad once told me exactly that. He said, "You need something to fall back on," and I
Mhm.
said, "Why would I want to fall back? I want to move forward."
Yeah.
And he said, "Okay."
Oh, good for him.
And he didn't accept it, but he said okay in that moment. But I said
Oh.
I thought it was a good answer. You don't want to fall back. That sounds negative.
Your parents okay with you doing this?
My parents, I think, didn't understand what I was doing. And my mother had health issues. She was having kidney transplants and stuff at that point.
Remember.
So the
Did your
family,
brother donate a kidney to her?
no, but my brother's kidney failed, and my sister donated
Right,
a kidney to him.
I remember there was a
You
donation.
guys have been playing musical kidneys in your family.
Have you ever donated
of
anything to anybody?
No.
Okay.
You
No, and if you think you're getting something, no.
Yeah.
no. But no, my parents are not showbiz
Right.
folks at all. They were not.
Nobody's parents.
But living in Cleveland,
Mhm.
we were really far away from show business. And one time, my father, we had a summer cottage on Cape Cod, and my father would fly on the weekends to visit us. And one time, this was the summer of 1964, my father was flying there, and he sat next to the Four Seasons. And
Frankie
at
Valli and the Four
Frankie,
Seasons?
yeah, Frankie
Wow.
Valli and the Four Seasons. And at the time, they were huge. They were.
That was the biggest period for them, 64, 65.
Yeah,
That was
64.
it. Cherry,
And
Walk Like a Man, everything.
yeah, and so Bob Gaudio, which was one of
One of the
person,
writers.
sat next to my dad, and my dad said, "Oh, what do you fellas do?" And they said, "Well, we're the biggest singing group in America." And my dad said, "Oh, are you the Beatles?"
Wow.
4 guys from New Jersey with their hair slicked back. My dad thought they were the Beatles. Had
That's
no
funny.
idea.
No idea of show business.
Show business there.
I toured with Frankie Valli for a year.
Wow.
Toured with them.
You have any stories from that?
I told her we did a bus tour. Frankie Valli, besides for being terrific, I mean, those songs are so moving and so wonderful.
Oh.
I mean, so powerful.
Yep.
And they weren't just like bubblegum. This was another level. Those songs, they said things, a lot of them. He was a consummate professional. And if something bothered him or somebody in the band wasn't stepping up, he would really let them have it. He wanted things perfect. He was good. He was good to tour with.
Well, my mother insulted him on the same trip with my father. So my father lands, the plane lands.
Uh-huh.
He gets off plane with the Four Seasons. And at that point, you could go out to the gate and meet people still back in the 60s. So my mother went out to the gate, to meet them. And my father says to her, oh, do you know the Four Seasons? And my mother goes, I love the Four Seasons. And of course, now they're okay, the Four Seasons are excited.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And my mother says, oh, it's my favorite restaurant in New York.
Ah.
And, she thinks they're cooks or busboys or something, And of course, they're deflated again. I'm surprised they kept touring after that.
Yeah. He's still touring. He's 90-something years old. He had something happened recently where he got sick and he had to cancel, but he's back. I just saw Hollywood Bowl or somewhere.
Great.
I met him once at the Friars Club in New York. I had a comedy magazine, and one of the places that distributed it was the Friars Club. And he was reading my article, and he was laughing, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever to see Frankie Valli. I made him laugh, with my article. And then on the way out, he came over and he said, funny stuff.
Did you see the show?
Right.
The play?
No. Jersey
no.
Boys?
No.
Yeah, Jersey
No.
Boys.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh.
So 50 years.
50 years. Mike,
When did you? What year? 74.
75. Yeah, February of 75. I started.
wow.
Yeah.
So I think I'm 76 and a half.
Okay.
So SNL and you started the same time.
Yes. October of that year, SNL came on. And I remember in New York, it was like, oh, Richard Belzer's going to be on or something.
He's in the first episode.
And is he like an extra
In a jury.
or something? In a jury. That's what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Because I just saw the first, they ran it last week with George Carlin, Janice
right.
Ian,
Yes.
Andy Kaufman, right? Wasn't
Andy
he on?
Kaufman,
The Muppets?
Right.
and who's the
Muppets
black
were on the first one. Yeah.
the black musician who played with the Beatles.
I know who you're talking about.
It was great.
Yeah.
but- Yeah, he's
Billy
in
Preston.
Billy Preston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's right,
Belzer's.
Belzer on that. Yeah. But it was exciting in New York. Someone that we didn't really know because he was kind of a generation ahead of us, but we knew who he was because we were in the clubs
Right.
at that point when it started. So
And then he was
it
the MC
exciting.
for all the years we were there.
Oh, and he passed me at the auditions at Catch a Rising Star, which was, when you're starting out and one of the big clubs will allow you to hang out there every night. This was like a big milestone.
Passed me too.
It was Belzer also, huh? Yeah. He said to me, how long have you been doing? I said, about 6 months. And he said, oh, come on and hang out. So I was there, and they put me on the next night to 4 people at the end of the night who were sitting not even in the front of the room, in the back of the room. And I bombed so bad. They didn't put me on for another 6 months. I didn't. Yeah, it was.
Same here.
so
I mean,
painful.
they pass you, and then you just hang out, and you can drink. They give you a couple of drinks. Maybe you can eat something. They had different hierarchies of the type of food you could have.
I never had any food at Catch a Rising Star.
I didn't either.
I
They
never
weren't big on
graduated.
giving me food either. Even when I was doing the Saturday shows, they go, "We got to feed this guy." But
You
I
guys
would
didn't make
see
it
the MC
even into the
he's eating
hierarchy?
steak and
Yeah.
shrimp and stuff like that. We could get a burger if you really.
I remember comics in
We
New
ate
York.
at the other clubs.
I never did, Mark. I think because I was running from club to club, so I never had really time to do that. But
They opened a club in New York, which is since closed, called Comics with an X, COMIX. And when they first opened, like all the comics were talking about, like they're the club that's giving everybody lobster and steak for the comedians. And that lasted about 3 weeks, I
Right.
think. And then then they lost the lobster. They're like, well, they still give steak. And then before you know it was chicken fingers or just French fries. I don't know what it was.
Yes,
but-
yes. Well, do you know
whatever.
that Mark was the cook at the comic strip in New York?
Is
Yes,
that
there
right?
was, yeah.
I didn't know that.
And I was the bartender. I was the day bartender 2 days a week on Sundays and Mondays.
No kidding.
And
And I
Mark,
cooked on Mondays.
I started at the comic strip in New York.
oh, okay.
So,
well, you know that, yeah.
I know that bar very well. With the fake stained glass,
I shouldn't have fed him the way I did.
yeah.
You know what I mean? This is
Yes. Well, but Mark and I, so I was the day bartender,
Yeah.
and Mark would come in to cook, and we would, I would go get chickens at the supermarket, and we'd have chicken or something, and then we would invite my friend Mike Kane, and then he started inviting other people, and all of a sudden there were like 40 comics showing
And
up
I'm
Monday
frying
night for
burgers.
dinner
Yeah.
and stuff, and Lucian Hold, who was the manager at the time, comes in and goes, "What are you guys doing?" We're all having salads and chicken.
Jimmy's
and
pouring
stuff.
booze for everybody.
yeah. So
What was it? Wasn't it Richie and Bob and were the the owners were they?
And John.
And another guy, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
the third
John.
part-
John McGowan.
I only knew Richie and Bob, and then Bob
Yeah.
passed away shortly after I got to know him, and Richie held on for a long time.
Yeah. They were great to us
And
there.
and
John
Lucian,
used
I
to
know,
drink the
yeah.
Nips. He ordered a small Budweiser beer was called Nips. They were like 8-ounce bottles, and he
Yeah.
ordered those just for himself, and he would drink like 40 of them a day.
Oh, okay. Well, they were bar guys. The
Yeah.
owners at
From the
comedy
Bronx.
strip.
I
From the
loved
Bronx,
Richie.
yeah.
Richie's the one who passed me at the club.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that it was Lucian's job to pass people at the club at that point. And he immediately hated me because he felt like I'd overstepped him. But I had no idea of the way things worked at all. I just went in one night and met Richie, and he liked me, and he put me up, and he said,
Yeah.
"You could work here." And immediately I was resented by Lucian for that. And we never were
yeah.
able to patch that up. But
Passing didn't mean you were going to get on and work.
Yep.
But
yeah.
they
Just
did. But you could
Yeah.
get on every night because
Where?
at the comic strip, because
Good
they
spots?
had not good spots, but they had spots for the last 5 spots of the night
Yeah.
was whoever signed up first. So I would come
Oh.
just about every night and sign up, and me and 3 other guys were the only ones who could do that. So
Yep.
it wasn't and other people could do it, but I mean, like, we were the generation. The new generation, there was 4 of us who were allowed to do that. The other 3 got in from Lucian, and I came in from Richie, and that was a bad beginning to me and Lucian. We never were able to
Patch it up.
patch that up.
Wow.
But
Wow. Well, that's a good lesson, though, in show business is persistence, just showing up every night,
yeah,
do it. But my audition for the comic strip was right when it was being built.
Mine too.
And this was 1976.
Yep.
And they were
It
just
wasn't
building
finished yet, the club.
It wasn't even finished. It was a dirt floor.
Dirt floor
in the back.
in the back there. I
are
did
you
the
just
same
gonna
thing as
repeat
you.
everything he says?
No, I'm just agreeing.
But it was at the same time. We probably stood in line together.
They
I-
sat on little chairs in the dirt.
And it was Bob Wax and his then girlfriend, maybe wife. I'm not sure who it was. And so I go and audition. And at that point, I had thrown out my act and was just asking people where they're from was my entire act.
Uh-huh.
So he says, okay, audition. And I say to Bob Wax, where are you from? And he said, no, do your act. And I said, well, that is my act.
Uh-huh.
And he said, thank you very much. My entire audition was, and I was
That was
back-
it.
And that was it? You were passed?
No, I
Oh.
it would be months before
Oh.
I passed because,
Yeah.
they thought I didn't have anything. And so I just went out to the bar and people went, that was the shortest audition. Yeah. And so it was, the bartender there was a friend of Richie's and John's, Tony.
Yeah, Tony. Why am I forgetting? He passed on last year.
Yeah.
Tony, nicest guy, comedian too.
Yeah, impressionist.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
well, I'm back in that.
Philanthropist.
nice
Yeah.
guy. I have photos of him in Reno.
Where he moved eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he put in a word for me with Richie because I knew him from the other clubs before he started working there, and that's what got me into the
Well,
comic strip.
Lucian,
eventually.
and I guess I owe him a lot because, in a weird way, he inspired me. Because I remember he once walked out after my act and he folded his arms and he goes, "You will never ever be a working comedian." So I was like, "I'll show you."
Yeah.
You need somebody like that. Somebody who tells you can't do it, so you do it. But
Wow.
yeah, he didn't. He said that to me one night.
I think I would have quit.
Yeah, it hurt.
I don't think.
Oh, it hurt.
I mean,
but-
Jerry Seinfeld talks about that with Mitzi Shore at the Comedy Store, where she didn't like him and wouldn't use him, and that kind of fueled him.
Mhm.
But to me, I think I would have just crumbled. And
I had that at the
walked
Triple Inn.
away.
The old Triple Inn, you remember? Kenny's.
Oh boy, do I, Mark.
What happened?
This was a lesser club in New York. It wasn't even a club.
It's on
It was-
54th Street, right across the street from Studio 54.
Ah.
Literally directly across. It was there. Studio 54 was right across the street there, and they had the rope. And I tried to get in there one night, and that hurt worse than when my sets didn't work, because they rejected me for just my face. The guy with the rope, I went over. I like to go in. He goes, no. Just looked at me.
And this wasn't even a good club. This was a bar that you stood. There wasn't even a stage. I
No
don't think.
stage. You stood at the back of the room,
So
and there were tables in there, little tables.
And there was a dartboard next to you. So if people wanted to play darts, you had to get out of the way.
There
Oh,
was a
gosh.
dartboard
So-
there.
Yeah, it was.
So Kenny came over to me after
Yeah.
I did a set, and he said, "Psst, come here. I'll talk to you." He goes, "Your material, I'll clean it up here," but he goes, "Your material is crap,
Mm-hmm.
and you have no personality." That was after the set. And you know what happened? I came back the next day to get on again.
Wow.
That's what we had to do.
Absolutely. Mark.
That's what you had to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I still had to
Yeah.
keep going back to the comic
You
strip.
couldn't take
and
no. You
stage
just
time. But
Yep. Yep.
I if you ever had a situation with somebody like that, like I could not win. When I tried to win him over, I couldn't win him over. I remember one time, there's the booths. They got rid of them. They had those old. They're probably from when you guys started.
Where?
At the comic
Oh,
strip.
yeah.
Those
Yeah.
little booths.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. By the jukebox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was sitting in the booth, and then someone says, "You're sitting in Lucian's seat."
Oh.
So Lucian walks. I jumped up. I said, "I'm so sorry." He says, "For what?" I said, "I was in your seat." He said, "No, there's no your seat or my seat." He says, I said, "Oh, but I was told this is your seat." And he goes, "It's disgusting when people apologize too much."
Oh.
And I said, "Oh, I'm
Oh.
sorry."
Oh.
I didn't mean to. He just- so,
at the Improv, comedians we used to carry little cassette decks, recorders,
Yes.
the act.
Yeah.
and you'd put it in the back of the room at the Improv in New York,
uh-huh.
where they had the little soundy, the little monitor back there.
Uh-huh.
And while you're on, other comedians would talk into your thing there.
Yeah.
It's the worst joke I ever heard in my life. You're going nowhere. You'll have no career. If you listen, nobody's laughing at this stuff.
Well, those were tough days, Mark.
So you
Mark-
guys, oh, sorry, you were.
No,
about
I was going to say
something.
to Mark, Mark has a story about working at Alan Dick Steakhouse, where I'm sitting there.
Yes, Manya.
Was the waitress was very sweet.
She was the
us.
manager,
And,
Manya.
yeah, she was like the head waitress maybe. And so I'm sitting there eating a club sandwich,
Yeah.
and we were absolutely broke at that point.
Uh-huh.
Just 35 cents to get back to Brooklyn on the subway
Yeah.
was a lot.
Uh-huh.
So she'd give me a free sandwich, which was the greatest. So I'm sitting there eating the sandwich, and Mark, you come up.
So I said to Manya, "Can I get something?" I see Jimmy's eating. "Can I get something?" She goes, "No." So I said, "No, why not?" And this is what she said: "Because he's funny and you're not." And Jimmy's just enjoying his food there, looking at this. Is very good.
Oh,
This is
a
tremendous.
club sandwich. It was the greatest. Boy.
He's still rubbing it in.
Oh,
What's his name? Dan ran that club with the English accent. There was Ed.
Yes.
Ed, who kind of managed or whatever.
Yeah,
The two of you guys can't
would-
pull up one name between the two
who
of
had been
you.
an agent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is 50 years ago. Yeah,
I'm not
No, but what's
allowing
his
it.
name? He's a comedian. He's traveled on the ships and all that for.
Oh, yes.
decades.
He was going by the name of David Copperfield.
David Copperfield.
At that point.
But
He
And-
calls
the
me once
magician?
every.
no, before there was a magician, David Copperfield.
He calls me once every 4 years to
And,
talk to me.
and David Heenan is his.
David Heenan.
And he's gone back to that.
Oh,
Yeah.
On the cruise ships. Yeah.
All right, you did it. You got the name.
There
this
we
time.
go. Yeah,
That's
I
good.
didn't know he was me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was great to me too. He would put me on, and that was
He was good. He was good to us.
that we actually got on at the clubs, and when we couldn't get on at the bigger clubs, we got better, and they didn't realize we were getting better. But we were going to these smaller clubs, Alan Dick Steakhouse
Yeah.
and Triple Inn, just for the stage time at that point.
So you guys have been friends for 50 years then. If you've been doing it for
Yeah,
50
yeah,
years
50
and you
years.
started.
Absolutely, Mark is one of the first people I remember meeting in the standing in line auditioning
At the Improv.
at the Improv. And
What was Mark
Catch a Rising
like
Star.
then compared to what Mark is like now?
he wasn't a family man
Uh-huh.
back then.
Not really.
It's
It,
fair to
it wasn't
say.
in the cards.
Yeah.
But Mark was lived in the village in a big apartment.
Well,
I was living in a studio in Brooklyn, and $135 a week and a
Month.
month rather.
yeah,
And Mark was sharing a
2,500 square foot
20. Wow,
on Worcester and Prince.
that's bigger than my house now.
Wow.
Yeah, it was huge, and it was half of a 5,000 square foot. It was called the Eagle Envelope Company. When I lived there, factories were still going down in Soho.
Mm-hmm.
This was not the boutiques and all these restaurants. There was nothing, zero. There was one bodega, owned by these Puerto Rican guys, 3 blocks away. Little Italy was a few blocks away.
What year was this?
This was like,
This was 75.
yeah,
Okay.
75, 76, 77. I lived there a couple of years. And so the guy divided, it was $350 a month. He divided the floor, put up a wall. Half were envelopes and half was me and this guy, John, and we had another roommate. And when people would come over, when they would leave, I go, you need some envelopes? And I would open the door to the other side. And I said, what do you need? With the glassine windows? Or you want just plain envelopes? You want short ones, long ones, wide ones? Would you like some manila envelopes? And nobody would leave my house without taking
Without an
a
envelope.
stack of 50 envelopes.
But what I remember about this loft was it was so big. There was a sailboat in the
Yeah.
in the living room.
Yeah.
What?
A sailboat with a mast.
Yeah.
Really?
A full sailboat.
It was like a giant, it was a ridiculous old building with like 30-foot ceilings and these windows, which were the size of this bus that we're in now.
Wow.
You know, the windows where you needed a pole
Yeah.
to open. And
You know
Oh,
those
right.
kind of windows?
like in schools. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
This building was built in the 1880s and stuff like that. It was incredible. They would also, it was a working factory building. So on Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock, the heat would go off because there's nobody in the building. It's just 3 of us.
Uh-huh.
And there was one guy up below us who was an artist. And it wouldn't come on again until Monday morning at 6 a.m. unless it dropped to 30 degrees or 32 degrees where the pipes would explode. So we would go, if it was 45 degrees out, 40 degrees, 35, the entire weekend. And we all had gloves and hats and earmuffs and sitting there, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
It was amazing. It was amazing. And I had a little room I built. There were 3 giant windows in the room and air. You know, they were not airtight. So all night, just breezes. And the bathroom we built had no roof on it. So it was enclosed,
Uh-huh.
but there was no roof, so you could hear everything that was going on. And the kitchen was 4 feet away. So some guy is in there, you know, going to the bathroom, and you're eating pancakes.
Wouldn't it be cool if you could go back there just for a day?
I wish I had more photos of it. It was incredible.
Wouldn't it be great, like, if you could just, like, different parts of your life, if you just could, you know, like how you could put a pin on your phone, like if you want to remember a place?
Yeah.
If you could just put a pin at a point in your life that you could just go back even for 20 minutes
It would
to
be
that
nice.
to that point in your life, just to check in on it. You
But
know?
all these horrible places we lived were perfect for us.
Oh, they were cheap, Mark, in those days.
Cheap?
And
You had on 80
on
4th Street?
84th, yeah. I moved into New York, $175 apartment
Uh-huh.
that had 4 rooms and a bathtub in the kitchen.
Railroad
It's
rooms.
unfair, you guys.
Yeah.
It's unfair. You know what I pay in rent? It's I'm not gonna say, but it's
Well,
a
it was a
ton.
different
It was
world.
above
Yeah.
the bar, the Okie
Yeah.
Dokie bar. Elsie's.
Yeah.
I sublet, and it was perfect for me because I would come home after the bar closed
Yeah.
at 4 o'clock at night from the clubs, and no one else would, you know, because it was noisy,
Right.
you know, until 4 in the morning. But it was perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I was the perfect person to live above the bar, and
Yeah.
then, you know, at 11 in the morning they would start cleaning up. There would be some noise down there, but
I also
it was
lived above
great.
a bar because my Second Avenue apartment, which was $150 a month,
Uh-huh.
and I was paying more than anyone in the building, I found out.
At 150.
At $150 a month.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Everybody, you know, these people just stayed in there forever until they died.
Right.
One room. We didn't actually have central heating. There was a gas heater that you had to
Uh-huh.
light the match and the thing would.
Wow.
It was amazing.
I lived above a bar in Times Square, also.
So around 2:30 in the morning, the bar was starting to close, and it was a
Uh-huh.
singles bar.
Yeah.
And you could hear the guy, because I was one flight up, you could hear the guys trying to get the girls to come back to their house.
Yeah.
I would hear the guys going, "Oh, come on, come back for an hour, will you? Just an hour. We'll grab a bottle of wine," you know, and the girls, "I don't know. Yeah,
Did you learn anything from listening to them?
yeah, I learned what not to say. It was really perfect.
What was Jimmy like back in the day?
Very clean, like he is now, very clean. He dressed very parochial, like a little sweater,
I wore a sweater because it was cold
with
on
no
the
sleeves.
subway.
Sweater didn't have
That's right.
sleeves, like a
Uh-huh.
vest sweater.
To wear a sweater on stage
Uh-huh.
was way too warm under the hot lights.
Mm-hmm.
But I would need a sweater to be on the subway, at 4 a.m. back to Brooklyn. I'd be sitting on that subway platform freezing. So I would wear a button-up sweater, and my big finish every night was, I've got to go now because I've got to get these clothes back to Mr. Rogers.
Right.
And it was a big laugh. And the first time I went on the road, they lost my luggage,
Oh no.
and I didn't have the sweater. And I thought, I can't go on. I don't have a finish. That's my big
You also brought
finish.
books on stage.
I would carry, because I would read on the subway,
Uh-huh.
and so I would bring books with me on stage. So, yeah, it became kind of a
Did you
persona.
use them in the act, the books?
I had yes, one book, Mark. I had a book called
Jokes?
2,000 Insults for All Occasions.
Right.
And when someone would heckle me, I would take out the book and hold up 2,000 insults and say, I don't want to use this. But if you make me, and the audience would go crazy wanting
Don't
to hear
make
the
me use
insults.
I don't want to use.
And I would open up the book and I would read, insults
Yeah.
at the heckler.
That's great.
And, and the most lame, stupid,
Of
I
course.
mean, there were 2,000 of them. None of them were any good. But
think
it
you
got
would-
me because I didn't know I was afraid how to handle hecklers.
Right.
And this was, my heckler thing that I used for a long time.
Yeah. What do you
first-
do now?
first
Do you,
8 years.
I don't think people would. I don't think you're the kind of act people would heckle. Do you get heckled?
Occasionally people will interrupt, but my act is so audience interactive that
Mm-hmm.
it's helpful when people talk.
Right.
Where I have trouble is where people don't talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Then my act just dies, if people won't talk to me. So
Oh.
And when people react to you, they're never hostile. They want to get involved with you, and it's very good natured.
Generally, Mark, yeah, yeah, generally.
I think a lot of people get heckled invited with the way that they are. The way you present yourself to an audience either does or doesn't invite heckling. I think I never get heckled. I never ever get heckled.
Oh, interesting.
Mark constantly gets heckled because
Constantly,
the audience can
nonstop.
tell that he's no, but seriously,
Wow.
I mean, I think you come off as such a nice guy. Obviously, we know better now, but he comes off as such a nice guy on stage that I just don't think it invites heckling. I think the audience loves you right away.
Is there such a
Oh,
thing
that's
as
nice.
an established comedian coming on stage not where the audience doesn't feel he's a nice guy? I don't know that you
No,
could be a
well-
comedian unless the audience has some sort of warm feeling towards you.
Well, I mean, there are comedians that have a persona,
Right.
like Anthony Jeselnik, that's kind of, he's kind of a character up there.
Yeah,
Yeah. But not,
but his
And
audience
he's
knows.
not trying to ingratiate himself to the audience like
No,
Right.
other comedians
and that's a
are.
style.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about someone who just because there are comedians who are mean spirited off stage.
Right, but I think you can see it. I think an audience can kind of
They
see
feel it.
They can see and feel the persona of the person, despite whatever they present the audience with. The point of me bringing that up is that you really have people present themselves all kinds of ways on stage, and
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And that's one thing that takes a while as a comic is to find your persona as a comic,
mhm.
what the audience will accept and what kind of jokes.
I think
They'll accept
Rodney
you
Brenner,
doing
they
stuff.
all said 10, 15 years.
Yes, although Brenner got on the Tonight Show in maybe 6 months from when he started, because he started at age 35, I think.
He was,
And,
he was a documentary filmmaker or something.
and he had a work ethic which most comics don't have that start younger,
Mhm.
and so he knew how to work.
He would do this with his hands a lot. Remember?
He would- yeah. Yeah.
Did you know
That's
Rodney
great.
pretty well?
I didn't know him well. I knew him a little bit in the clubs, and it was such a thrill in New York
Beyond belief.
when he would come in to try out stuff for the Tonight Show.
Uh-huh.
He would do that, 5 minutes standing up and then 5 minutes of panel jokes. So he needed, maybe 15 jokes
Yeah.
standing up and then 15 sitting down, something like that. And he would try them out in the clubs, and it we'd all go and watch every time he was there.
Every time we ran into the room to watch this, and it was amazing.
And it was great. And the jokes and,
it was a master class on how to do the Tonight Show.
I was just thinking about Rodney the other day because in more an analytical kind of way, but I was thinking, some comics present such a great character, and some comics are great writers, and some comics are great performers. I think Rodney really had it all. Like, he had maybe the ultimate comedy character with the no respect and
the
tie
ultimate tagline
and the
of
sweating.
anybody.
And I mean, but there was so many elements, like the tie, the sweat, the voice, the everything,
the handkerchief,
right?
Yeah.
So there's all these things going on. Then you layer on top of that all these really great, fast, well-written jokes.
Ooh, yeah.
Right? And then what a performer. Like, the package, the whole thing together. I can't think anybody else. Like, even like I would say Sam Kinison, unbelievable performer. But the jokes, some of them are brilliant, not all of them. But not as
Joan
consistent.
Rivers had it all.
You think Joan? I don't even as
great
much
material,
as Rodney.
Great persona. She had the tagline. Wasn't as strong as Rodney's, but she had. Can we talk? And she was a great performer. She could do anything on stage.
Now I would say, the most gifted comic that I ever saw was Buddy Hackett, because he had a funny persona, kind of a funny voice, a funny look, and was a great performer and could tell a joke. I mean, he just had every element to me. I mean, as much as Rodney was good, Rodney did one thing really well, but I think Buddy Hackett was just...
He told a lot of old jokes.
Yeah, but told them great.
He did. I know in the Tonight Show he told that duck joke where had Johnny fallen off the chair.
I think of Buddy Hackett every time I take the garbage out. The joke.
No.
Every married man becomes a garbage man. Remember, you think you're a doctor, you're a lawyer. No, you're a garbage man.
He also recorded an album with no live audience. You know that, right?
No.
The Chinese Waiter album.
Oh, there's not an audience?
No audience, just him talking into microphone.
Really?
Yeah, there's no laughter, no laugh track, no nothing.
Because that cues you that it's funny as an audience.
Yeah. It was a very weird choice he made, but it's you can...
Andrew Dice Clay, I think, did that as well. Buddy Hackett, and then Andrew Dice Clay. He did
David
the
Brenner
day the laughter died.
Did a live show from the Comedy Magic Club. He recorded a live special.
Oh, he did. Okay, I didn't. Never
Went out live.
Yeah.
It was the end of his life.
Wow.
It's funny. They call a lot of people say that the years we came up was like the heyday. There's comedians working today that are just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you, Mark.
Better than ever. But where we differed, there were no comedians when we started. There was the Catskill Mountains, the Chitlin Circuit for the black performers, like in the South, and there was nothing between New York and California. There were no There was some theaters that some of the mountain comics would work outside of Pennsylvania or the Westbury Music Fair, but there was no such thing as comedy clubs when we started. And I've talked about this.
Well, the Improv had started in New York.
Yes, but no outside of New York. There's nothing
right. Yeah.
anywhere.
And then the Comedy Store in
there were
Los
very
Angeles.
few comedians.
Oh, yeah, Mark.
There were like 10 of us, 20 of us. I remember, I think it was Leno that told a story. He bumped into, it was very rare when you went on the road and bumped into another comedian.
Oh, yeah.
You just didn't see it. Now you see him in the airports and away in the lounges.
Yeah.
So Leno, I think, said he bumped into Ed Bluestone, who just passed on not too long ago, who was one of our favorites.
Unbelievable comic, yeah.
And he goes over to Ed, hey, Ed, good to see you. And Ed goes, he didn't want to even talk. He's not going to bump into anybody at all for the rest of his tour.
That's right.
He meets one guy in the world that does what he does, and he doesn't want to talk to him.
I just shared a funny story with a friend of mine that's in the vein of what you're talking about. I'll tell you guys that Amy Schumer.
I do.
I did a lot of shows with her when I was starting out. She was starting out. She was always super nice, and but we were never friends. We just were on the same lineups. And so she gets very famous, I have yet to, right? But I'm going to do a show somewhere. I don't remember where, and I'm in the airport, and she's in the airport, and we run into each other. And I said, "Hey, Amy, congratulations on everything," you know? And she said, "Hey, great to see you, Danny. How you doing?" I said, "I'm doing good." She said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I don't know. Maybe it was Houston. I'm going to Houston to play this club." She's like, "To do what?" I said, "Stand up." And she goes, "You do stand up?" I
She
said,
forgot.
How do you think you know me?"
Right. Where's how you?
But she wasn't being like, she wasn't joking. She said, "That's great. That's great. You're doing stand up now." I said, "What do you think?
We were.
She just thought you were hanging around.
I don't know.
Those clubs that
I'm
she
just
was in?
maybe she thought I just hung out there. I don't know.
Okay.
I grew up with the Ramones,
Yeah.
the one of the great punk bands of all
This-
times.
Unbelievable, Mark. Yeah.
CBGBs, they
Yeah.
made famous, and we grew up in Forest Hills together.
Mm-hmm.
And when they got famous, and I knew them, and we grew up, we went to school together, Forest Hills High School, hung out. So they were at CBGBs, and I thought, I'm going to go down there and say hello to the guys and congratulate them.
Mm-hmm.
So I go in, and there's no dressing room. There's a curtain, and they're in the curtain there. It's a real dive place, but famous. I open the curtain, I go in, they're all sitting there,
Yeah.
and I go, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And they just stare at me. All of them. I go, Mark Schiff. And they refused, all of them refused to admit that they ever met me, they knew anything about me. I spent years with these guys, and they never broke from it, and I walked out.
Oh wow.
And they never ran out and go, "I was just joking."
Yeah.
And that it was a very bizarre moment for me.
I had that with a comedian once too, but yeah, it's very strange.
So 50 years,
Yes,
and,
sir.
and Seinfeld brought up he would like to have, because we started together.
Yep.
He said, we should do something for 50 years. So you should be part of that. We should get together a few of us who
Wow.
are still around and have a dinner or something out
Great.
here who have done it.
Yeah. It's always a dinner. Is there anything else to do?
No, there's nothing else to do.
It's 50 years, a dinner.
What should we do?
You're gonna have
go
dinner.
out like 2 in the afternoon for a walk?
Go for a walk.
No. But we should do that because
Yes.
are you doing anything special for the 50?
This is it, Mark. I
This
thought
is
this
it.
was special.
This is the special thing.
This is special. No, I don't have any plans. It occurred to me today as I was driving down. I went, oh.
Have you ever had a birthday
see.
party as an adult?
Yes, when I was turned 21, I think.
That was it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
4 people.
Right.
Yeah.
And none of them knew who you were.
No, it was the Ramones.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even talk to me. It was very sad.
You have birthday parties? Well, you got kids and stuff, so it's a big thing having the birthday parties.
Yeah. Not typically. No, I don't really have. Do you have birthday parties?
Well, we go out to, the older you get, it's
You
not
go out
so
for a dinner.
festive. You go out for dinner.
A
Yeah,
dinner.
Yeah.
It's always a dinner.
Go out for dinner.
Yeah.
Everybody gets together a little.
That's it. It's just a
So what was
series
the
of
moment
dinners.
you knew this is what you wanted to do?
I think it was about a week in, Mark, of doing stand-up. I went, oh, I'm a comedian now.
How'd you decide to do it?
I just was a fan. I just liked watching comedy. I would hang out at Folk City and, 1,000 dreary folk singers, and to see one comedian, on the open mic night, and just I would hang out there because it was free. There was no cover charge, and I could hang out. And I was so broke, I would move from table to table. When the waitress would come, "You want to get a drink?" I said, "I'm going to wait a little bit." And then I would move to another station so I didn't have to buy a drink, just waiting for a comedian to come on. So I was just a fan, Mark. And
Yeah, me too.
thought just, if I could do that, it'd be the greatest. And I'll tell you a story actually I was, back then there was no internet, and you had, to get information was almost impossible about being a comedian.
Anybody.
But
yeah.
Dick Cavett came out with a book
Have it.
called Cavett, and he talked about his early days of being a stand-up in there with Woody Allen, and Jack Rollins was his manager.
Bill
and stuff.
Cosby.
Yeah, those guys in the Village that they all started with.
Joan
And-
Rivers.
Yeah, and I couldn't afford the book. It was $8.95, and I could not afford this book, which I thought this is going to unlock the secrets
Yeah.
of comedy for me. So so my dad asked me to drive his car to Florida for the winter. My parents had just started going to Florida for the winters. So I drive his car down, and rather than staying in a hotel one night, I sleep in the car so I can buy the book. I have a certain budget for the trip, and I don't
Yeah.
want to cheat my dad. So I sleep in the car, and I buy Dick Cavett's book when I get to Florida. Devour it and write my first original material.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
based on because this is the only information I had. So I wrote this one thing about going to an intellectual high school and my first routine, and then so 8 years later, my first Tonight Show, the guest ahead of me is Dick Cavett.
Wow.
Yeah, and you were there, Mark, and Dick Cavett, to see that shot, and Johnny gives me one of these, the
Yeah.
okay sign that he
Wow.
did, and Dick Cavett applauding, and I was able to thank Dick Cavett after the show
Wow.
for his book that got me started.
Was he touched?
He said, "A lot of comedians have told me that." And I went, "No, I slept in a car." And, I didn't say that to him, but I thought,
Yeah.
I slept in a car
Yeah.
in North Carolina
Yeah.
for a night
Well, he had,
so I could buy your
he had
book.
depression,
Just-
so you got to come some slack.
I interviewed.
but I was so happy to thank him. And
He has a joke in
Was
that book that he talks about, that German joke of his.
what is it, Mark? Go ahead.
You remember, a German Chinese, an hour later, they attacked themselves or something.
Yeah.
And I
yeah.
think that was the joke that Rollins saw that made him think that this guy really knew how to write jokes.
Oh,
Because
okay.
he had the same manager as you.
Eventually, this Jack Rollins, who was Dick Cavett's manager and Woody Allen's manager,
And Robert Klein's manager.
yeah,
managed you
just
as well?
The best managed me as well.
Wow.
And it was because I'll tell you the story of getting the biggest manager in show business. His first client ever was Harry Belafonte.
Everybody wanted to
early
go with
50s.
Rollins and Jaffe.
Yeah, and then he took on Nichols and May
Yeah.
and got them on Broadway, and they were a very sophisticated comedy act.
Right.
And then Woody Allen and Dick Cavett and Robert Klein, and the West Coast office had Robin Williams and Billy Crystal, and
Right.
and so Mark and I were working at the comic strip in New York, and there's a waitress there, Hillary Rollins,
Mhm.
who is Jack Rollins' daughter.
Daughter, yeah.
And she's trying to decide what she's going to do with her life. And she thinks, maybe she'll become a manager like her dad. So she picks out 4 comics that and to bring her dad in to see that she's thinking of managing. And it's me, Jerry Seinfeld, Larry Miller, and Larry David.
You had terrible taste, huh?
Terrible.
I mean,
Wow.
just unbelievable.
Yeah.
How successful
Unbelievable.
she could have been with it.
Yeah.
So Larry David doesn't show up that night.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I said, Where's Larry? Oh, he said he had a gig, but none of us had gigs in those days.
If
Uh-huh.
he did, it was $10.
If that, yeah,
Yeah.
because we were working free in the so it's just Larry Miller, Seinfeld, and me. So we go up, and Jack Rollins gives us advice afterwards in the bar at that where you were talking about those booths.
Yeah.
We stood right by them at the comic strip in the bar, and Jack Rollins says to Jerry, he says, "You should go to California and do the talk shows. Your material is clean. It's perfect for TV. Go to California." And he says to Larry Miller, "You're a great performer. You could also be an actor. You should pursue that as well." And, right on for both of these guys. I mean,
Yeah.
seeing them once, he had an exact idea of what their career should be.
Yeah.
And he didn't even talk to me. And I would
Wow.
ask questions, just kind of just stay in the conversation, just
Yeah.
and he would politely answer them and stuff. So about 2 weeks later, Hillary says to me, "My dad is really disappointed in you." And I said, "Oh, why?" And she says, "Because you didn't ask him to manage you." And I went, "Oh, I didn't know that's how it worked. I didn't realize you could ask
Yeah.
someone of
Wow,
that
no,
stature
yeah.
to manage you." And then he started managing me. I got a TV show in Philadelphia that didn't work out, but I needed
Wow.
someone to do the deal. And I went to Hillary and said, "Would your dad do the deal for me?" And he did, and then he became my manager. And
So what can you tell us about him? Because he's such an iconic figure now in comedy history. What's some like inside of who he was?
well, I'll tell you what was great about him as a manager was he would take the people that he was bringing in to see me out to dinner before the show and explained to them how he saw me. He said he's kind of like a Jimmy Stewart. He's
Wow.
not like anyone
Yeah.
you've ever seen before. He's kind of gentle on stage. It's not aggressive, attacking the audience. He's talking to the audience, but it's not an insult act. And he would really set them up so they would see me through his eyes.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't think I've ever seen any other manager do that.
Incredible.
When I booked the comics on the Tonight Show, which I did for 5 years, people would send me 15 tapes of all their clients,
Yeah.
and it was, like just hoping that maybe someone would get on, having no idea who was right or who wasn't right, or how to, kind of package the comic for the right thing. But yeah, he was unbelievable and a gentleman. And at his funeral, Howard Storm got up, who had been a client, who became a director and stuff, and directed the pilot of Out of the Blue, and he directed Mork and Mindy. I mean, a great
Right.
guy and a great comedy director. And
I think he's in the news today.
Howard Storm?
I think he was attacked in New York. I think so.
Seriously?
I think so. Yeah. I think I heard that this morning.
Oh.
Must be 100 years old.
Anyway, go on.
But,
Sorry.
but he told a story of Jack. He goes into the office one day, and Jack is sitting there depressed, and he's on the phone. Actually, he's on the phone, and he makes a deal for Woody Allen. This is in the early '60s for $1 million,
Wow.
and hangs up. And this is a big deal, $1 million, for Woody
Yeah.
Allen for something. And and Jack's depressed, and he says, "Well, why are you depressed, Jack?" He said, "No one should get $1 million." He was just, a guy that, and his daughter,
Cigar smoker.
yeah, but his daughters told a story at the funeral.
He lived to almost
about-
100, right?
I think it was just
100 years
yeah,
old.
Yeah,
Wow.
and he told a story that they gave him a sweater for Christmas one year, and he didn't seem that happy about it. He said, well, "Why don't you like the sweater?" And he said, "I already have a sweater." He was a guy that didn't need more than one sweater.
Wow.
It didn't make any
Oh,
sense to him. And
Interesting.
Woody Allen making $1 million, even though he did the deal and that was his job,
Right.
he didn't think it was right.
So Jack
Wow.
was famous
Just a
for
great
working with
guy.
the comedians on the material. Like down in the village, he would meet with Woody, and they would go over the stuff and work on it.
Yes, they would show up every night, and Dick Cavett talks about that in his book.
Right.
Yeah.
Working with Jack.
Even when he would bomb, Jack would find something. Would he say that was very instructive? Find something.
Did you have that? Did he work with you on stuff?
No, my act was kind of freeform, so he never really talked about the material with me.
In Billy Crystal's book, he talks about when he got managed by him. And then I think the first time he didn't take him on, the first time he saw him.
Oh.
And he said that he asked him, like, I had such a great set. Why don't you want to work with me? He said, you didn't leave the audience with a message. He said, you need to
Jack
leave.
said that?
He said that to Billy. He said, you need to leave them with some kind of a message. You didn't leave them with any message. Leave a tip, he said. Leave a tip.
Yep.
And then Billy, auditioned for him again and tinkered with the act, and then he said, okay, good. Now I'll take you.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll tell you the advice, Mark. If I just
Yeah, I
go
want
off
to look
that,
up Howard Storm for a second.
Yeah,
So
please,
talk-
please do want to
so-
do that. Yeah. But Jack would say, it's not what you do on stage; it's what you leave after you're gone,
Mm-hmm.
which is exactly what you're saying.
What does that mean?
Right.
It means leave the audience with something, that they
Right.
remember you when you're off, either your
Yeah.
persona or your material or your message. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned as you were talking that you used to book the Tonight Show.
Yep.
And you were booking comics for
Yep.
the Tonight Show,
Yep.
and you are a comic.
Yes.
Was that a tough position to be in?
Well, it changed how people saw me in the clubs. People were very aware. I remember when Jim McCauley, who booked the Tonight Show with Johnny for years, and when he was in the room, you were very aware of it when he was watching the show. There's a booker in the show, and so I became that guy then for 5 years. And someone said to me at the Improv one night, "Now you know what it feels like to be the prettiest girl in the room."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a great
But
metaphor.
were there people who were mad at you because you didn't book them? Was it tough? Did you lose friends over it? Did you feel like
I did not lose friends. I always was very mindful to sit down with the comics and explain to them why that set wasn't right. You know, if it was someone who did, you know, topical stuff, I would say, Jay does topical stuff every night. You know,
Mhm.
we've kind of covered that stuff 6 months ago,
Right.
you know, on the show because we had to do it.
Did you
know,
make these
so-
decisions yourself? Or
Yeah.
did you weren't working with anybody?
No, it was just me. I mean, there were other people that worked with me at the show that did the booking and stuff. Tracy Fiss, you know, when someone was on the show,
Right.
would do the booking and arrange for the limo and, you know, those kind of things that.
So let me ask you
comics
something.
did. Yeah.
Switch to the other half of your life working with Jay.
Yep.
Um,
And maybe we should just say that I worked on the Tonight Show for 9 years
9 years.
with Jay as a
What
writer.
was your title?
I was a writer on the show, but I didn't have to write a single joke. This was the greatest job.
Like your act.
Exactly right, Mark. The same thing is I would sit with Jay for 4 hours every night at his house from 10 o'clock at night till 2 in the morning, going over jokes and deciding what went in the monologue. So my entire job was just deciding what jokes went in with Jay. And we would argue over the jokes. And then I would come in the afternoon at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And for another 2 hours, Jay and I would go over the jokes.
What time would you go in? 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock in the
And
afternoon.
the show taped at 5?
Yeah.
So every night,
So for 2
so
hours.
would you do a set first, then go up to his house? How did this work?
I would go from the show. Yeah, the show. I would probably leave like 7. I would go down to the Improv or the, and do a set, and then I would go to Jay's house at 10 every night, and work on the monologue till 2 in the morning. And then Jay was in there at like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning
Why did he go in
going
so
over
early?
jokes. He cared so much about that monologue. You know, as a comic, he wanted that monologue to be great every day. And
Wow.
and he
When
said,
did Johnny go in?
I-
Do we know? Because he would come in the afternoon.
he would come in the
Because we'd
afternoon.
see his Corvette pull up to the Johnny Carson spot.
That's right. Yeah. And the head writer would have done a lot of the work, I think, that I did with Jay, which was, Jay wanted to be the one deciding on the jokes as well as me.
At any point,
Whereas
did
Carson, I think,
Mhm.
depended more on the head writer as well to decide on the joke.
did you ever suggest, even gently, to Jay that he bring some dead pig heads?
No, I don't think he did. That was something I did, the audition. So-
Uh,
You're up there every night.
Yep.
And you're sitting across and you're just working on,
Jay is
he has the cards.
every joke is on a card, and Jay has
Uh-huh.
probably 150 jokes, and he's going through the jokes
Each night, he has
Yeah.
150 jokes.
Yep. from the writers. I mean,
How many writers are in the Tonight Show?
there were when I was there were 14 writers, and about 7 did monologue every night. So there were 7 writers, maybe 50 jokes each a day. So that
Each writer had to write 50 jokes a day.
Wow.
30, even if it's 30, 40?
It was constant that they were coming in, giving Jay a page of jokes with maybe 10 jokes on the page.
What
The old-
happened to
all
all
day
those
and
jokes?
stuff.
Are they archived somewhere?
I think if Jay didn't check them, they didn't make it onto the card. I mean, Jay would look at a sheet of paper and check the ones he liked. Then, there was an assistant that, God bless her, for typing up every joke on a card. And
Wow.
when I would come in the afternoon, Jay would hand me a stack of cards, 100, like index cards, 150 jokes. And I would go through them and go, let's add this one, let's add this one. And we would get up to maybe 25 jokes for the monologue.
It
You would
sounds
do
like
that in the
yeah.
office or up at his house?
We do it at the house and at the office.
It sounds like it was really no accident that he was number one, Jay. I mean, it sounds like he really, really worked hard on that
Incredible
show.
hard worker.
Oh,
Yeah.
and still, I mean, Jay was
Yeah.
Consummate
always,
professional.
yeah, I mean, going on the road more than anybody, Jay always was working harder.
I had
Yeah,
him at
and
this
anybody.
benefit, and he had
That's
just broke his wrist, and he had a patch over his eye.
Oh, that's when he fell in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
He called me up that morning and said, Mark, I got some bad news. I mean, I'll be at the show, but got a big patch on my eye. I'm all black and blue, my whole face, and my wrist is broken. I'm in a sling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I said to him,
And his face was black and blue.
black and blue.
From forehead to chin. I mean, it was.
Yeah. So I said to him, listen, okay, great. I'm glad you're coming. How about we send a car for you?
Uh-huh.
He goes, it's complicated with the car. They don't know. Whatever he said was complicated.
Yeah.
I said, then let me come and drive you. I'll come to your house. I'll pick you up. And he goes, really? You don't mind? Of course I don't mind. You're doing this free show for this group, and you got your faces looks like somebody took a bat to you. And sure, I picked him up, and then after the show, we stopped for pizza. He stops
of course,
at
Mark, sure.
not in Vinny, at Mulberry Street,
Mulberry Street, yeah. How's that?
and then took him back home. But yeah, he was amazing.
Well, I'll tell you about that story, Mark, of the accident. He fell in Pittsburgh, falls down this hill, gets dinner, and then he buys an eye patch because his eye is swollen closed, goes and does the show that night in Pittsburgh, flies back the next day, goes to the doctor, and, they fix him up as best they can, but his eye is still swollen closed. His face is all black and blue. His wrist is broken.
Yeah.
And he drives to a gig out in like Temecula or somewhere,
Yeah, by
one
himself.
eye, one hand, driving out. He's unbelievable.
I get a kick out of every time one of these things happens, he gets interviewed. Like when he burnt his face with the car.
Yep.
And every single time he's like the most unemotional, even keel guy. Yeah, my face caught on fire, and it's fine. They put it out, and then they're like, I fell down a hill, and I'm wearing a bonnet. I never ever loses it.
No,
ever.
Always that way though. Always,
you're
very
like
steady.
that too, though. Like you seem that way as well. I can't even imagine the two of you getting in an argument.
Oh.
Like,
well, we would argue over jokes, but it was more intellectual about.
I'm sure, the
content of.
But
the stuff,
but
yeah.
very.
And Jay
like,
likes to do something that Jimmy doesn't like to do.
What's that?
Drive fast.
I think you say spend money.
Yeah.
Okay. Drive fast. Yeah. I've got one car, and I put it on echo mode today.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm wasting.
But Jay would pick you up, or how would you do this when you go to Comedy Magic Club with him every Sunday?
Every Sunday, yeah. Take one of his
How
cars
long you been
from
doing
his
that?
car collection. 35 years. I filled in for Ron Richards, who was a comic friend of ours.
Mm-hmm.
One Sunday, Ron didn't want to do it, and I've been doing it ever since. I've been filling in. But I was already working with Jay when he was guest hosting the Tonight Show. So we're friends.
That was like Luke Garrick when he filled in for somebody that got hurt.
That's right.
And then he was in for 3,000 games.
That's right. Yep.
I know I'm opening myself up here, so I might regret asking this question. But you saw me the other night. If you were still booking Jay's Tonight Show, would I be a good Tonight Show booking for Jay, based on what you saw?
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I mean, it was clean.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Could have gone worse.
Yeah. No, that's yeah. But it was. When I first started booking the comics, there were we was use like 3 comics a week. I mean, Jay was doing 5 nights a week. I mean, Johnny had been down to 3 days a week by the end of his. We were 5, so we were using a lot of comics initially, and then NBC, they could track by the minute how the show did in the ratings.
Yeah,
and they said comics aren't doing that well, so they stopped using as many comics.
Oh,
So it was harder to get comics on.
interesting.
Through the 5 years, initially it was, 3 or 4. I was just putting a lot of comics on, and then it became.
Didn't Jay get a bad
one
rap for
comic.
that?
Yeah, I mean, Letterman would put on, old friends of his from the Comedy Store,
Right.
a lot. John Witherspoon and George
Dreesen,
Miller and Dreesen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jeff Altman. Those guys that
Mhm.
were his pals. Where Jay was more concerned about the ratings. Jay wanted the ratings, and at one point after I stopped booking the comics, I had worked for a long time to get Carrot Top on the show, because he was at the time the best prop comic out there. Gallagher was not working as much, so he was the next guy.
Yeah.
And so I finally got him on the show. They liked him, and stuff. So one day Carrot Top was on the show, and this after I stopped booking the comics, and they said, "Remember who the last comic was we had on the show 2 months ago?" And I said, "No, who was that?" And they said, "Carrot Top."
Mm-hmm.
The only comic they were using was Carrot Top.
Wow.
Eventually, yeah.
Super funny guy, Carrot Top.
Yeah, he's
Well, when they had a serious author or politician on to begin the show, they wanted a comic to kind of pick up the show.
So where did you stand when
Carrot Top?
you were at every show that they taped?
Yes, yeah, every show. Yep.
So where did you stand?
I would sit next to the producer during my segment, which was the monologue, and she would say, it went too long. We may need to cut some stuff, and so we could have a conversation. And then when the first guest came on, whoever was the producer in charge of that guest, who was the booker, would sit next to her during that segment. So
did you do any
whoever segment
sets?
was. I did one set on the Tonight Show, but I felt bad about booking myself on the show. It didn't seem
with your
quite
act.
right.
Why would
I mean,
Yeah, I tell you.
but Jay said, "Yeah, go do it." Yeah, you should do
you
a
didn't
show."
do Where You're
So I did.
From.
No, I did material
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, and that was always a frightening thing because I couldn't do my regular act. I had to do this whole other act. And
When Jay was here, I asked him if he ever had to use the restroom when he was in the middle of a show, and he looked at me like that wasn't a great question. Did you ever remember him having to run out to the restroom?
No,
Never, huh?
no, I don't remember it. No,
He says he doesn't remember it
Yeah,
either.
he said he was a professional.
it was. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
It's only an hour.
it's an hour, and
Yeah,
it's done, in real time.
And he's a
you go out
younger
and do
guy
it.
then. It's,
But you'd think, in all those years of doing it, maybe one day he had a stomach bug or something.
yeah, you would think that.
You would think
Yes.
that.
Now I've talked to a comic, Randy Lubis. Do you know Randy Lubis?
Sure. He books a club.
Okay. Yeah, JR is in Santa Clarita, is it?
Yeah.
Up there somewhere. And he told me that twice he had explosive diarrhea while he was on stage
Oh, wow.
and had to say to the audience, "Excuse me, I left something in the room," and run off the stage in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this happened twice. And this is why he doesn't eat anything before
Yeah.
he goes on.
Jade has an explosive diarrhea routine.
Oh, he probably mentions it.
Yeah, he does.
You ever,
But Jay will eat right before the show, right up till.
It's unbelievable. I'm sitting backstage with him, and he's eating watermelon and chicken wings, and dipping them in hot sauce. Jay, you're on 3 minutes. All right. He takes out the napkin, a little bib off him.
uh-huh.
and
You
goes
ever hear
right
of
on
Tommy
stage.
Cooper?
Oh, an English comic.
He was an English comic. He died on stage on live television.
Oh, on live TV?
You can watch it on YouTube. It's eerie.
Oh.
And the audience is laughing because they think it's a routine at first. And you know what? Let me pull it up for you guys. Talk for 1 second. I want to
So
show you
what's
this.
his name?
I don't wanna see it. Yeah.
I
In
wanna
Beverly
show you
Hills, what's his name died on stage during the intermission. Why am I forgetting?
I'm blanking.
It was called The Second Funniest Man or something, his show.
Watch this.
And
This is
he's in the producers as.
Yes.
What's his name?
Yes.
Dick Shawn.
Dick Shawn.
Yeah, is his name. He died on
There's a
stage. right?
book, Jeff Abraham wrote a book, People Who Died on Stage.
Oh.
The whole book he wrote.
Wow. And I'm guessing Tommy Cooper's probably in there.
Hey,
Then, huh?
if you got left out, that would be very insulting.
Would that be a good way for you to go?
On stage?
Just drop dead in the middle of your...
Oh, my car would be in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Here, watch.
That's
Take a look at this.
Oh, I don't know if I want to see it.
It's
Do you
too
want to
late.
see this, Mark?
It's interesting.
How long is it?
A minute.
I mean, he dies right in the first minute of his act.
No, this is like cut. It cut to him. Just look at how they don't know what to make of it.
And he's lying on the floor,
Yeah, he had a heart attack.
and he fell, and they think it. And with
They think this is funny.
He sat up.
Yeah.
and with Dick Shawn, they thought it was funny too, right? They thought it was a routine.
Because he
You don't
meditates.
have to watch the whole thing,
No.
but
I'll watch it later.
Oh.
you get an idea that he
Dick
says
Shawn-
he'd get back down and he's out.
Lie down on stage to meditate, supposedly, I think.
Oh, is that what it was?
Gone.
Oh, okay.
Wow. But you see, it was killing. I bet he never would have thought that material would work. But
Charlie Chaplin ends the movie Limelight, I think it is. He is on stage. He's the clown. And he falls off the stage into a drum. And then they lift him up, and he's in a big bass drum, like laying there like this. And then they take him backstage, and he drops dead
wow.
in the movie.
In the movie, okay. So how do you like being named Jimmy?
Yeah, there you go. Have you ever had to cancel a show? I had to do one. Maybe I had to do 2 shows in my life cancel.
I had to cancel when I got COVID, Mark, the first time. I had to cancel, the Clean Comedy Challenge where I was supposed to be a judge
Yeah.
and a mentor, and had to cancel that. And so I've canceled a few, because of COVID, Mark. Yeah.
Only because of COVID. I mean, we
Yeah.
used to go out every night, no matter how sick.
Oh, yeah.
I would
Mark,
have the
yeah.
worst flu, and I would go, I got improv. If I don't show up, I have no career.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
you just had to show up
Yeah.
to prove you
That-
cared.
Yep.
Right.
7 nights a week, year in, year out, we were in the clubs. in New York.
365 days a year.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Every,
Just go.
Yep.
Weather
didn't matter.
didn't matter at all.
Yep.
Matter at all.
Remember the big blackout in New York?
Yeah.
Mark, in like 77 maybe?
Yeah.
So I'm going into the clubs. I go down in the subway, and I'm sitting there waiting for the train. And all of a sudden, the lights change a little bit. I don't think anything of it. I'm sitting there. It's 20 minutes, half hour, an hour. And I'm going, gee, this long. And someone comes down the subway and yells, "There's a blackout." And I go upstairs, and the whole city is black. I've been sitting there. I'm the only person in New York who doesn't know, because there were auxiliary lights that came on
Yeah.
in the subway. And I sat there for like an hour waiting for the
I
train.
did a show at the Improv in
So I missed those shows. I had to cancel those.
Yeah.
before. San Diego. Saturday night, the lights go out at the club, and they had some flashlights. So I stood right in the front row, holding the whole club is black,
Yep.
Mhm.
gone. Just 2 flashlights in my face, no microphone, and it was good. You know, you do what you can do, and the audience goes with it. They're like,
Yep. Yep.
"This is
I've seen that a few times, Mark. The first time was in New York at the Improv, and the lights went out, and the audience somehow comes together because of that. And
Right.
it's- yeah.
Did you ever
And
have to
there's a-
perform like after the death of a family member?
Um.
I know Mike Caine came in the night we buried his mother.
Yeah.
He went to the club, and
Yeah.
so did Bob Wall. His father had died, and he came into the club that night.
I flew back from Cape Cod, where we buried my mother, with Mike Caine, who had come to the funeral. We flew back to New York the day the funeral, the night after the funeral, and went on that night. Sure. I mean, that's how dedicated we were, that we went on, every chance we got, every night.
You mentioned earlier that you're from Cleveland, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you laughing already?
No, I'm just waiting for the...
Oh, well, I was going to ask you,
Make-
do you have a lot of pride in being from Cleveland?
I love Cleveland. Yeah.
People love Cleveland.
Yep. I love going back,
Mhm.
and my family's all moved away, so I don't
Mm-hmm.
get back much. But one of my...
Did they tell you where they moved to when they moved?
No.
No.
And I was 8 when they moved.
Wow.
That was the wrong thing about my family. But-
Yeah.
But I have a college roommate who lives in one of the suburbs just south of Cleveland, and I love going back.
Did
Yeah.
you ever read the works of Harvey Pekar?
Oh, I knew him from the Letterman show. I never met him, but
Right.
he was, and you should look this up on the internet if you can find it. His appearances on Letterman were just
Oh, I've watched them many times.
unbelievable. That he was...
You know, they offered him his own late night talk show because of those appearances, and he turned it down.
Wow.
He's like, I don't want to do a talk show.
Well, he was such an individual. And
Yeah.
cartoonist, and then I think he was banned from the show eventually because he took on GE, which owned NBC at that point.
Yeah,
maybe?
but they brought him back
no.
after that.
Oh, they did. Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Okay, but it was bad because he embarrassed
Yeah.
Letterman and
Yeah.
saying
he
what a
still-
horrible
he
company
still got
GE was.
Brought back after that.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, I've never been to Cleveland. I've
Oh.
always wanted to go because of him.
Oh,
Because I was friends with him. After I became aware with him, I reached out. We became
Really?
friends, and I never made it out to see him. He always invited me to Cleveland Heights to visit him, and I regret that I never made it there.
oh,
And they have a statue of him in the park there. So that's on my list to go and visit that statue.
And
But,
how did you get to know him? You just wrote him a
I
letter.
called him?
Oh, you called him.
They made a movie about him, and he mentioned
Oh, that's
that he was proud to
right.
be in the phone book. And this was
Uh-huh.
still at a time when phone books were a thing. So I said, "Oh, I wonder if he's still in the phone book." So
Uh-huh.
I called him, and he pushed me to follow my dreams. Really, he's an unlikely person to do that, but he did that for me.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so we were friends up until he died, and he wrote a book on Cleveland called Cleveland, and it's the history of Cleveland as a graphic
Wow.
novel.
Wow.
I'm gonna get you a copy of that. It's
Oh.
a fantastic book, especially if you're from Cleveland and you've. But for me, I've read everything he ever wrote, and so much of it takes place in Cleveland that I feel like I've
Uh-huh.
spent a lot of time there. I've
You
never
should
even
go.
been in
I've been there
Cleveland.
a few times. You should go.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like I would love it because I've read about it, and it's like all these stories live in your mind.
There's two other people that
Wow.
found people in the phone book. Bill Cosby called Buster Keaton, who was in the phone book.
Wow, I didn't know
Really?
that.
And
Yeah.
Dick Van Dyke called
Yeah.
Stan Laurel.
I just read this yesterday.
Oh, really?
Again, another account of this. Yep.
Yeah. It was
You know,
amazing. And Stan would look at his material or something, but wouldn't come on the show. He wouldn't come on the Dick Van Dyke show. He invited him on, and
huh.
some
He-
reason.
He wanted people to remember him as he was as a young comic, not as an old man. Yeah. And in this, what I read yesterday is Dick Van Dyke did kind of a tribute to him on the show where he does Stan Laurel in one of the episodes, and Stan Laurel then critiqued it. He called him after
Huh.
it
Yeah,
aired
I
and
liked it.
critiqued him. Yeah.
Carl Reiner told me he was friends with Stan Laurel, and that
Wow.
he had letters written from him that
Oh.
they had back and forth.
My goodness.
Who would you like
Wow.
to have met?
Oh, that's a good question.
You know,
Hmm. I would think Buster Keaton. I know you're a big Buster Keaton
huge.
fan. Yeah. I don't know if he was a happy guy, but
He got happier later in life when he
Oh,
married
okay.
Eleanor.
oh,
He stopped
okay.
drinking, and I think he had a good couple of years.
Did you ever get
Man,
married?
what a genius. No, never married.
Never?
Yeah.
You think you might?
Are you asking?
Or telling.
No.
He's got 9 kids, though.
It was a
all
priceless
over the
face you
country.
made.
That was kind of a grouch.
Yeah, that was very.
You never
yeah.
wanted to?
Yeah, when I was younger, I might have. Yeah.
Now it doesn't make sense.
In college.
You could still get
you
married
know,
now.
people-
You could do anything
It'd be
you want.
interesting to start now.
But who would put up with me?
Yeah.
You know,
You get set in your ways.
you get very set in your ways. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't imagine that. I mean, it would, at 20, I probably could have adjusted, to living with someone else. But now I wonder.
Could you adjust to living with a girl who's 20? Maybe.
Well, I had a guest that stayed with me for 4 days that I didn't know, who was a friend of my friend Stephen Allen Green, and she was visiting from England, and she was supposed to stay at Stephen Allen Green's mother's house, but that fell through or something. And
Uh-huh.
can she stay here? So she stayed, and it was horrible having someone in my house for 4 days that I would get up and have to talk to in the morning and
Very bad.
And-
Horrible.
and have breakfast and
Couldn't handle 4 days.
and go for a walk and yeah. And then
Well,
she used
that's
my
a-
computer, and all of a sudden that thing that's on the bottom with all the different apps that you might use
Maybe
was on
mar-
the side, and I went, well, how did she mess up my computer?
Maybe marriage would
in
not
10
be for
minutes.
you. 4 days you couldn't handle.
I
Oh,
think
no,
I'm
it
one of the
was
reasons that Jimmy never got married.
Yeah.
Right?
Why is that?
Because I've been married 35 years, and whenever he asks me about it, I always complain.
Yes, that's right.
I've
Mark.
always complained and tell him how horrible it is, and it's terrible, and I've got to get out of this. And I think I've even asked you to call Nancy and break up from me.
35 years. Wow, unbelievable.
Best 6 years of my life.
Have you been in love?
Oh yeah, sure.
How many times or a few times or?
A few times, yeah, and thought, oh, I should marry this woman, yeah,
But you didn't.
yeah,
Okay.
didn't, or they said,
They said you think
yeah,
you should.
when I was younger, yeah,
Jimmy would take
I was going
women
nowhere.
on dates only if he had a coupon.
That's right.
Am I
That's
wrong?
True. Now I'll tell you a story about
What was that place
how
called we
cheap
used to
we're-
go to? The
Sizzler.
The Sizzler, but there's
Oh,
also
Soup Plantation.
Soup Plantation.
Oh, I love the Soup
The
Plantation.
best place in the world.
All you can eat. It was just the greatest.
No
yeah.
longer around anymore.
No,
Went the way,
$11.
went the way of all the other
Right.
plantations, I suppose.
Yeah. But I had a contest in college with one of my college roommates, Tom Airbar, to see who could spend the least amount of money dating
Uh-huh.
for a semester.
Wow.
and we would. So we both had girlfriends at that point. So I would, we a lot of walk dates, a lot of study dates. We were dating, and I would get maybe a free ticket to a basketball game and take her with her. So I hadn't spent any money. I thought, well, I've won this contest.
Yeah.
And Tommy had convinced his girlfriend to take him out to dinner one night and pay for it. And so she paid for it, and he said, oh yeah, let me take it up the cash register. Give me the money. I'll take it up. And he kept the change.
Wow.
So I thought I had won at zero, but
Yeah.
Tommy had beat me because
You won.
he was $3.40.
Yeah. Wow.
But he was ahead.
The first date I took my wife on,
Uh-huh.
I didn't have any money, and I took her to a show. It was a Jim Henson's son's show that I got the tickets because we were reviewing it.
Oh.
So we went to a show with free tickets to review it, and then I took her out for frozen yogurt, but only the free samples.
Get out of here.
It's true. And she married me. And she's like, this is the
So
guy.
she got one of those little tiny cups.
Yeah, the little Dixie cup that they give
And
you.
you go, "Let's get out of here."
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
That's the greatest.
So,
I didn't know how that happened.
if you set the bar really, really low at the beginning, you don't have to do too much to
Yeah.
impress them over time. But now I take her out for the frozen yogurt and I pay for it. She goes, wow, things have really gotten better.
I should have been married thousands of times then.
All right. I think we're there. Mark, do you want to plug anything?
So my book, Why Not? Lessons on Comedy, Courage, and Chutzpah. My Instagram, my website, markshift.com. And I was supposed to work with Jimmy this Sunday night, which would have been March the 3rd,
Second, maybe.
March 2nd, 3-2,
Yeah.
with Jay, but it ain't happening.
Yeah, Jay must have got another gig. Yeah.
Yeah, Jay got a...
Just heard. So yeah, Mark, but
Hope you can still come.
but we see each other and work with each other.
We do.
Stuff.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you know this about Mark, but I went to each of the births of his 3 children. I was at the hospital.
That's a little odd. You were there in the hospital while they were being born?
These are great stories.
Nancy said, Mark's wife said,
Yeah.
you're allowed to ask one friend, and don't make it a crazy friend.
Right.
And you chose this guy?
That's right. He was in there when the baby came out. You were behind her filming it.
The third baby,
Really?
it was Nancy was so comfortable with me being there for the births that I was filming it, but I was up at the head of the bed and there was a sheet over.
He didn't go south. You
didn't
know,
go
where
south,
the
yeah.
baby to shoot.
So,
He stood behind her in the room. with the
wow.
big
shooting,
video
yeah,
camera.
yeah. And the first baby
Yeah.
was a C-section, and so Mark went down to the delivery room and he dressed in a gown and the cap and the mask and stuff.
You got to dress like you look
I
like
know,
a
I
doctor.
did it.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting at Cedars-Sinai Hospital in a long hallway that's also the waiting room, but it's 50 feet long. And so I'm sitting at one end reading a magazine, and there's another group of people,
Waiting for
family,
to find out about their kid. Maybe.
And Mark comes out all in scrubs and stuff and looks around and says, Mr. Brogan? And I said, yes. And he said, oh, it's quintuplets. And I kind of laughed. and
Everybody
sat down
started
and stuff. So we got that. And yeah. So Mark leaves, and I'm sitting there reading the magazine, and the people come up to me and go, we can't believe how calm you are with quintuplets.
Yeah, you just sat back down and read the magazine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, just.
So you were at all 3 births. Which was the best?
Well, the first one, because it was a C-section,
Because
was
of that.
I was just in the. But the next 2, I think I was in the room. But the third
Yeah.
one was pretty casual, and by that
Yeah.
time, video cameras were around, and I was.
When we
I
would
was
travel,
taping.
we've talked about this. We would do like little funny.
Pranks.
Jimmy loved sleeping late, later than most of us.
Mm-hmm.
So in hotels, I would put a sign occasionally on his door. I would take his "Do Not Disturb" off the door and put a sign, "I'm deaf. Please knock as hard as you can to the
Knock real loud. Yeah.
knock real loud to the cleaning lady."
Yeah.
She's, "Hello, hello,"
At 7 in the morning, pounding on the door.
That's great.
and he would open the door. "What?" And you'd see the sign. "Knock his-"
Took it off. Yeah.
And then one time I left a note on the door. Anybody who has cleaning, please leave it in front of this door and pick up again at 5 o'clock. And Jimmy would open up to be suits and sport jackets outside.
Yeah. Drop off all dry cleaning here. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I once I did a special with Tim Allen up in Tahoe. Bobby Slayton was on that show, and I don't know why I did this, but I called ahead and canceled Tim's hotel reservation. So he's at the desk there. He's going, "Tim Allen, what do you mean you don't have a reservation? I don't have a reservation." And he had to fight the guy, I'm going to get this reservation.
You wouldn't do that with Slayton, though, I would imagine. You don't want to deal with that.
You ever deal with Slayton?
The pit bull of comedy?
Yeah.
I just know him as a friend in the clubs, yeah.
Funny guy.
He's so
We had him on
funny.
the show.
I called him, he gives me a hard time because, like Mark, I keep Shabbat and stuff, and he goes, "Why do you do that? Huh? Come on, Dan. I thought, what's your retarded lifestyle that you're doing here, Dan?" So I call him this week. I said, "Hey, Bobby, I heard you're hosting a Shabbat meal this week. Is that right?" "Oh, you lost it." "I would never do that. What are you talking?" He just
So Bobby's living proof. You could say the
Yeah.
nastiest things to people,
yeah.
and they love him.
Because I have such a great respect for him. I think of him in a reverent way, like people think about Don Rickles. Like, when he insults me, I can't get enough of it. It's like getting insulted by Rickles or something.
Yeah.
I just I've always got such a kick out of that guy, and he's a miserable guy. And I tell him that, and he loves it. I say, "I never met such a miserable guy," and he goes, "Yeah, that's right."
But he's so lovable. On
He's
stage.
so lovable.
Yeah.
So like I try to push him to insult me when I talk to him because I'll like bait him for it.
When Don Rickles insulted people, it was like a badge of honor.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, Don Rickles used to come to the Tonight Show to perform on the show, and he would see me in the hallway, and he would start doing weather jokes. He would make weather jokes.
What you look like?
He thought I was Fritz Coleman, and I didn't have the heart to tell him.
He told me this. Yeah.
It was so funny to me. that he
Yeah.
would,
I could see it. I
show,
could see
yeah,
you guys
yeah.
look a little similar.
yeah, very similar. Yeah.
Yeah. So
What do you
Emma,
got?
What do I got? You have to be so aggressive about it like that. I got comic books about my life, like Harvey Picar. He inspired me. They're at fairenoughcomic.com. And you can follow me on X at Daniel Lobel and on Instagram. And I post up about shows occasionally. Come out and see them. And how about you?
I'm working the clubs. Yeah, I'm at Flappers tomorrow night with Jay Leno. And, I'm at Comedy Chateau every weekend, Friday and Saturday. And most Sundays with Jay Leno again down at Comedy Magic.
Mm-hmm.
So just doing the stand-up.
And your name, after probably Jerry Seinfeld, your name probably comes up the most on this show because Mark always has a story, and then and Brogan was there. And
yeah.
We're going to have to do another part down the line because we have plenty more stories.
If you listen to this podcast from the first episode till now, you could piece together your autobiography.
Wow.
You could probably get little pieces of your life and put them all
You
together.
ever think about writing one?
I'm honored. People tell me I should, yeah, but it's work.
That's right.
Want to do that? I 50 years as a comic, I haven't even written an act.
You've gotten away with murder. Got away with murder.
All right, everybody. We think it's funny. We hope you did as well. And if you did, please do take 1 minute out of your day and leave us a nice review on Apple Podcasts with 5 stars. It will help us get seen and grow as a show. We're on all the social media stuff. Check us out. We think it's funny. See you next time. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Jimmy.